Hello and welcome to Man's Model Moments, midweek model meet. Sorry, I literally wolfed down a curry. I had it was counting down 10 seconds ago, and I'm just like, no, I'm not going to eat it. So, cheers. I am drinking out of my wonderful airfix pint glass there. You can see. It is the wonderful Perlenbacher, which appears invisible because it's green. I've got the green screen on. I notice half of my face is also disappearing periodically, and I kind of look like I'm in a snowstorm. I haven't quite got the hang of this yet, so I may do away with that at some point later on. But anyway, good evening and welcome everybody. Let me. Yeah, John, I don't know what happened. I think what it was, I was actually wearing a very dark green jumper that day. So I did take it off, but it's something to do with the way the lighting is and like how the green screen is lit compared to you as well. I think I need to adjust the lighting. I need to speak to Gary because he's the green screen master of these things. I literally only got it on Wednesday, so I just threw it up. It's like a big 3 by 2 meter piece of cloth, basically. So yeah, I thought, we'll get the logos in, go a bit not corporate because it's not really a company. But I don't know where it is, but yeah, it does make me look a bit like I'm in some sort of snowstorm or in a sort of low res sci-fi transmission, which is probably actually, kind of like a Blake 7 thing, kind of about the effects budget that they had. So it was kind of appropriate, I do actually have a Blake 7 Liberator t-shirt on its way to me, which I'm unreasonably excited about for a grown man. But anyway, let's go back to the top and welcome people. So I see a lot of familiar names that I saw not very long ago on a certain premiere. So thank you for joining both the premiere and coming in tonight. So Julian Hall, we have Gary from Gremlins Modeling Mayhem. We've got Adrian Hook. We have Casey. We have Graham Graham Ball. James Carnahan. We have Pete McDubbs. We have R.W. Rosier. I'm not trying to say that as one word. With a question which I will get back to you on. David Barber, I think I already mentioned, but if not, welcome. We have let's see, a lot of people saying hello to each other, which is great. We have Jack the Modeler. We have Howard McKendrick. We have Kitchen Table Modeler. Paul Christopher. Welcome all to you. John Christmas. Craig Jukes. Oh, I've just lost my position. Very good. That was sarcasm for those of you in the US who don't recognize it. We have the Little Things Junkie. Hans Morbus. Phil Stewart. Martin Ward. The A's and the O's in StreamYard chat look very similar when you're sitting a meter away from them anyway. We have Gav. I'm going to stop. I'm holding and dragging, whereas I need to use the middle mouse wheel to scroll, because otherwise, if I release it at the wrong point, it just scrolls back to the top. We have John Alec. John, if you'd like to pop in tonight, it's the usual link. It's a permalink for this particular thing. I've got Andy Freeman. That's me, Man Momo. Can't say hello to myself. That's a sign of madness. Some would say I crossed that threshold long ago. Darcy Actual. Andy Bowden. Good evening to you both. Dwarvius. He says, I always love listening to the final intro music. It's got a cool vibe. Yeah, same one I put on the intros and outros as the videos. It's called Sexy Urban Beat. You know, I used to have, because YouTube is very particular, or not, YouTube isn't actually very particular. YouTube is very ambivalent, actually, towards copyright stuff. But it just allows anybody to make claims on things. It kind of takes a very hands-off approach in terms of its policing of it, because it says, well, it's nothing to do with us. You know, it's all between you guys, but you can't monetize while somebody claims it. So they're kind of draconian and lax at the same time. It looks like I'm broadcasting from Planet Harkonnen. Absolutely. Excellent. I mean, looking like something from Blake 7 is great. So that's a vibe I would definitely keep. I think I missed Dave Fairclough there. So good evening, Dave. And Rubbish Modeler, Steve's Gaming. Look more like a Tron character right now. Okay. Oh, wow. I was named after the bad guy in Blake 7, Travis. Oh. You see, my favorite character in Blake 7 was Avon, who was a morally ambiguous member of the Blake 7 crew, kind of second in command. And we kind of had this, like, will they, won't they, with Servalant. Well, they did a couple of times. Who was the big bad. But yeah, it's like he always appealed to me because he was kind of clever and but not like he wasn't a freedom fighter. Like Blake never really appealed to me. Blake's character, he was too kind of on the money, whereas Avon, you know, there were a bunch of criminals, right? And Avon kind of like, yeah, he's like kind of an extortion kind of, not extortion. He was more like a fraudster, I guess. I don't know what that says about me, but so Travis, welcome. Black Skunk Works, good to see you. And indeed, the Liberator is the greatest spaceship ever. That is certain. We have Aaronville and Mario Saliba. I think I need more drink to help me. 0 alcohol, so. We have TD. Hello from Hawaii. Just got those teeth back in. Ohio. Welcome. Good to see you. Let's see how I'm doing with. I think I've got most people. Got Brian Smee. Welcome. I might have to change from because I have it on dark mode because I find it kind of more restful on the eyes, but it's actually not that easy to see sometimes. So I may have to change that back to the standard. Jack the Modeler, that is an interesting question. I will star it and come back to you. This is a hill I'm prepared to die on. Kerr Avon is the best sci-fi rogue ever. Han Solo, nah, nope. Yeah. Well, I think actually Han Solo and Avon reflect the two kind of like the roguish archetype reflected in the lens of those two nations, Britain and the US, right? So Han Solo is very much more a cowboy, yeah, whereas Avon is a little more cerebral, a little sneakier. Has this kind of cutting wit that not everybody gets all the time, which is why I think he appeals very, he's very British in that way. Yep, Paul Darrow, great guy. The other guy I really liked is oh God, what was his name? The Utter Coward. The dynamic between him and Avon was great as well. I mean, actually, the dynamics between the whole, I mean, it was a great show. It was just, there is an example of what you do with good writing, good characters, and, low budget, So, yeah, the writing, I mean, if you could make that with a modern Hollywood budget, nothing else, a modern Hollywood budget, in, like if an Amazon or a Disney gave you the money and weren't allowed any creative influence at all, if you had the same writers, same actors, I mean, that show would have been absolutely epic. Can you imagine? Anywho, Villa. Thank you, Villa. Yes. I'm impressed you know actually the first and second names of them, Steve. That's very impressive. We have BS1WL in as well. Right, I am all caught up with everybody. Welcome, everybody. It's great to see everybody. We've got 90 people in. Good to see. I'm going to start off with a question here, which is the last question, not the first question, because it is most relevant to just jumping onto the stream. Excuse me, that's because I wolfed down a butter chicken curry like in 10 minutes. Actually, it's more like 5 minutes, I think. So it's repeating a little. Did you enjoy building the Blackhawk? So Simon, yeah, I did. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, the fly in the ointment were those seats. And it was one of those things, because before I actually received the kit, I saw the ICM video on it, on, like how it all goes together. And when I saw, like, you have put the seats, I'm just like, how is that going to work? Because you've got those individual struts coming in and they're not held by anything, and the idea that you can put them in, because obviously upside down, in fact, I've got the Blackhawk here. Sans blades, obviously. I don't know if you can see, let's just take the door off, actually. These doors actually do slide across. It's all pretty nifty. So as you can see, obviously the seat's there. So if I turn this upside down, trying to think how I do this to show you guys. So if you think they're suspended from the ceiling like that, so you've got them, floor is on the bottom, they're sticking up, and then you're supposed to put these little legs in. The angle there is a little less than 45 degrees, right, from the flat. So if you glue them at that angle with, standard poly cement, they're going to droop, right, immediately. And also, you've got to get them bang on, because they go with the little, I can't show you because there's just no way of seeing it. I need like a probe light or a probe camera, actually, which I do have. I don't know how to fit that onto the computer so that you could see. Note to self, that could be interesting. And you've got to get them dead straight. And got to bear in mind, you're doing this for 9 seats. 9. That's 18 of these little legs that you have to align perfectly with the holes on the floor and glue them. Bear in mind, you can't really get access to them well to kind of spot them in. So it's just like, I was just thinking, I can't see how that can work. So hence I was thinking, maybe I just put it in and then put them in, and that doesn't work either. So I think, yeah, if you're not bothered about having the doors open on this thing, so if you're just going to have it like that, right, you can't see those legs at all from the outside, right, when the door's shut. It's only if you want to display it like that, which I understand why you would, right, because it's got a full interior. And if you put, you know, some seat harnesses on there and, you know, some kit bags and stuff, that could look really cool. But then you have to come up with a better solution for those. And I just don't understand why ICM didn't have what I was trying to explain in the video. I don't know if it came across. If you can imagine, if you have a bar and then the legs come down from it, right, and it fits onto that front part of the seat or back part of the seat, depending on which, you know, because the cruise station ones, they actually go a different way. It's weird. So they're angled, so it's kind of this shape, like it looks like a C or a U from one way, and then the other way it would be the flat piece that connects to the seat, and they would be going at the correct angle to go down into those spots. I mean, you would just have 9 pieces for those 9 seats instead of 18. It's not really complex molding, and that fixes the issue straight away, right? I mean, 3D printing them is kind of the obvious thing, like the entire seat probably would be easiest. Aftermarket, I mean, the aftermarket already has them for, I think it's the Teleri did a 48 scale. I don't know whether it's their kit or somebody else's, but yeah, it just wasn't a good solution. So it was a really enjoyable build. Up until that point, it was really fun. And then that kind of sucked all the life out of it. And then once you got that bit done, it's really fun again. So it kind of goes like, yeah, you're up, and then you're down, and then you're up again. So I wouldn't let the seats put you off building it, because it looks great when it's done, right? And I'm looking forward. I actually just got the masks. They came through. So I got them from ASK. I actually got a bunch, which kind of gives you a bit of a clue of things I'm thinking of building. So that's one for the Avro Anson. That's one for the B26 Bury Marauder flak bait. The Westland Lysander, which I built, and I just cannot be asked doing the windows for that. And then the Blackhawk, which I've actually got 2 of, because I've got another one that I'm going to do. Not an MH60, one of the UH60s actually. So yeah, I've actually got that, so I can paint it up now pretty quickly. So hopefully get a video on that next week, on the actual, you know, finished thing. I need to tone down some of the weathering I did on the seat. I kind of noticed it on the video. I was just like, yeah, it comes through stronger as well on the video than in reality. But I did an enamel wash, and it ended up pooling too much in the seats. And because I was so pissed off with the seats at that time, I just thought, I don't care. It's like, it's not part of the review. I'll fix it later if I fix it, you know. But overall, a very enjoyable build. The difficulty, I just noticed I've just cracked that little rail because it's so delicate. And that kind of emphasizes the point I was going to make. The problem with it is there's so many sticky out bits all over the thing. And that's not a fault of the kit. That's, you know, that's the US military putting all this gumph on it. I mean, it has little aerials and warning receivers and chaff and flare dispensers and the IR dazzle thing and the aerials and things all over the damn thing. Just makes it impossible to kind of, I mean, considering all of that, it's pretty robust, you know. I mean, I've handled it a lot, in the last week, and it's been backwards and forwards to the shop as well. And it's typical during a stream that I actually crack one little piece. Up until that, I've not done anything. So it's pretty good. Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to painting black. It won't be black. As Casey knows, black isn't black. So yeah, it was enjoyable. It was an enjoyable build. If the seats weren't like they are, it would have been enjoyable the whole way through. The seats do kind of suck it out. As I say, if I'd known what I know now, I would have just stuck them on the ceiling, because they hang down. The secure on those top rails pretty well. I just wouldn't have bothered with the bottom rails, and then you would sail through that, because you got 3 rows of seats and then the 2 individual crew stations for the miniguns, and that's it. You're done. It would be a 5-minute job, especially if you're putting them in with super glue. So that's what I would recommend. If you don't want to have those doors open, completely ignore those. I'll be interested, actually, if John Alec, if you're willing to tell us, because John Alec is building this kit as we speak as well, whether your solution worked, because you had a different approach, because I told John about this problem. So I'll be interested to see what did John actually. Okay, he has posted, but not okay. So yeah, John, let me know if you got to the seats. Tell me how you did it, or did you just give up at that stage? I would understand if you did. So yeah, so thank you to those of you who came on to the premiere of the Blackhawk. If you've not seen the Blackhawk, I would appreciate a view. I'd appreciate if you can give a like and also just comment on the video. Doesn't matter how banal the comment is. YouTube over the past couple of weeks, and I don't know whether this is, actually I'd say the last month, seems to be deselecting a lot of, let's call it, military-related content providers. So I know the Grim Reapers, who play DCS, Digital Combat Simulator. They do a lot of recreations and silly stuff. They're having problems getting their, and this isn't about views, right? It's not about or contentment with the video. We get a lot of metrics as YouTube creators, so we can tell how many people, when they watch a video, what's their engagement like through the video. YouTube tells you, like, even like when the drop-offs are through the video. So if you suddenly get a massive drop because you've said something that's offended people, you can see that in the stats. The average number of like minutes that they watched, the average engagement, all this stuff. So you can tell how, with the people who watched the video, how popular that is. So if you've made something and it's just not sticking with your regular viewers, they don't like it. So if I did a brick video, for instance, I've done the Tiger and I did the Tog 2, if your regular viewers aren't interested in that, you can see that in the metrics. Now I tend not to mind too much on those, because they are not my core content, and if people don't like them, that's fine, absolutely fair enough. But you have something in YouTube called impressions, which is basically how many people YouTube shows your video to in the like up next or suggested content things. And if you're never suggested to people, you will never grow, because you will just have the people that know about you, and that's it. And that is the thing. So you have what you call, I can't remember what it is, it's like a conversion rate. Usually it's between 5 and 10%. So that means for every 100 people that see one of those, thumbnails of yours, in amongst that, from 5 to 10% will click on it. That's a good engagement rate. Okay. If that doesn't change, that means that you are doing, as a creator, you are doing the same job that you always have. Right. So it means your videos are good. However, if YouTube, so say that's 5%, make the numbers easy. If YouTube shows that to 100 people, you'll get 5 new views. If it shows it to 100,000, you get 500. If it shows it to nobody, you'll get none. That's the problem, is that YouTube seems to be not giving the number of impressions out to the general populace, which is how people grow a channel. So the counterpoint to that for the algorithm is if people like and comment on a video, it shows engagement, it shows, oh, actually, people are interested in this, so it will push it up the algorithm's priority list, if you like. So if you do watch one of my videos, if you wouldn't mind giving me a like, provided you like the video, of course, I'm not asking you to like stuff you don't. And if you wouldn't mind leaving a comment of some description, that would be very much appreciated. That's the single best thing you can do that's free to support the channel. Right, I've been blithering on enough. Let me have a look back at the chat. Simon's Modeling Shed has the Blackhawk in his collection to build. Well, enjoy, and hopefully you have learned from my mistakes. Amazing you got the Blackhawk done that quick. To be honest, John, it would have been done, I would have said 2 weeks earlier, if it hadn't been for those effing seats. Because I was, as you know, because we kind of been swapping backwards and forwards some pictures and stuff of our builds, I was like on it. It was like on my desk in the shop, and any time that customers went in, I was building the Blackhawk. That is one of the reasons. The only other issue that I had was the joins here at the front of the engines, but that was because I was rushing. Right, I wasn't waiting until things were as dry as they should be because I wanted to do it. So that's not the fault of the kit. That's me. But yeah, the legs, God, they just, yeah. ICM, I love you. I love that kit, but good God, please do something about the seats. Yeah, Paul Wiltshire, I think there's just, again, I'm not a helicopter guy. Transport helicopters to me are some of the most boring things. And I'm apologizing in advance to anybody who loves transport helicopters, but to me, the Blackhawk, though, it's that combination of it being black, for one thing, the special forces ones I'm talking about, and having all this other stuff added to it gives it that sort of big black beetle predatory insect kind of look to it, and of course it is used for special forces, which kind of leans into that kind of feel to it, I guess. And it sits very low on the ground, with those landing gear. It's just all of that together, I think. So I've only got one left in the shop at the moment, because I built one. I sent John Alec one, and he bought it. It wasn't an actual charity. I'll say that up front. I did send him a Kozak 2 for his birthday, so you may see that on his channel at some point as well, because he's big into MRAP vehicles. So Alan Rickman would have made a good Avon. Sorry, that was just an odd comment I saw at the corner of my eye, and it definitely so. I think Adrian is correct there. Well, yes, I guess, Paul Darrow nailed it. I think Alan Rickman could probably fill those shoes, though. Alan Rickman was a tremendous actor. R.I.P. He made him and Bruce Willis were Die Hard together. You could take basically everybody else out of that film. The play between those two really made that movie, right? So yeah, absolutely. There are ways to fix it, absolutely. But of course, I try and make my builds out of the box reviews. So it's one of the reasons I don't include, well, it is one of the reasons. The other reason is it would take too long if I do the painting bit as well. But the other part is the painting has nothing to do with the model. That's all about the skill of the modeler, right? Or the taste of the modeler as well. So I always leave the painting out of the equation if, if I can. I mean, sometimes I'll paint it because it just, it's very easy to. So if it's like, like the F-35B, the airfix starter set, it's grey. So yeah, there are definitely ways that you can get around that issue. One is leave the legs off, close the doors, you're golden. The other is sort out a different solution yourself, aftermarket, a jig, however you want to do that. And the third is disguise them, like you say, crew bags, whatever. Okay. So good, a good point to make actually is if you have a question or comment, as always, if you can put question or comment in big capital letters or QQQ or as Howard has here, com in capital letters, just helps me pick out your comment or question from the chat so that I don't have to search for it and possibly miss it. So yeah, the Anson is a great kit. Yeah, that'll appear on the channel at some point. I've got one, and see ASK, based in Europe, obviously. I bought a. So let's see, how much are the masks for the Blackhawk? €7.90, right? Which is about £6, just over £6. Which is, it's not a huge amount of money. Just to give you an idea, shipping was €14, right? Thankfully, there was no import duty, which was good. But you're not going to buy one mask and get €14 of cost, because then it's a lot more expensive, right? It's like £18 instead of £6. You're paying twice as much postage almost as you are for the actual thing. Hence why I thought I'd get a load of different things. And they happen to have an Edward express mask. Sorry, not an Edward. A double-sided express mask for the Anson. So I usually get double-sided. This is just an aside. I usually get double-sided masks if I'm going to do like a project, like for the Beaufort. Sorry. I got double-sided. It allows you to spray the inside of the canopy so you can get the interior color. So if you've got a lot of transparency, sorry, I don't know what happened there. Oh, it says apologies, everyone. I'm not on Wi-Fi. I'm actually on a wired connection, so I might have to have a look at sorting that out if this continues to happen. I'm also just seeing quite a few questions, so I'm just going to pop. try and right, I think I've sorted it. Apologies for that. I don't know what was really happening. All I did was I switched off the washing machine and the TV. I didn't touch the router at all. There you go. The wonders of StreamYard and the internet. So I did star a whole bunch of questions there. Just make sure I didn't miss any. Yeah, okay. So apologies for that. Let me get back into where I was. Connection. Okay, I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to get rid of a virtual background. There we go. So you can see, this is the green screen. Okay, I don't think it's actually my side of things. I think it might be elsewhere because it keeps dropping in and out. So apologies, and hopefully it will be stable enough for the rest of the evening. Indy, yes. Oh my word, those seat supports, true test of patience. Well done for sticking at it. It's so easy to not distance yourself and give it a NAF score. Yeah, I mean, it was one element, right? And I think for most people probably aren't going to build it to do a full kind of Mogadishu diorama. ICM are going to be doing a set for that. Hopefully they'll come up with something before they do that to make that better. So yeah, I mean, I always try to be objective, both positive and negative. You've got to kind of take out and just think, what was your actual experience, My sparkly head has bust the internet. It's the hair I lost, you see, reflecting too much the radiation. That's what it is. Right. That's interesting. I had two be right backs. Nice. Right, let me go back up to some questions that I've got started. Right, those two are related. Okay, this one. Question, how much and where does one get a Blackhawk, please? I have one in the shop. If you go to Man's Model Moment shop, there is one available for purchase there. It's £48, I believe. I think it's like 50. ICM have some weird pricing in the UK. Obviously, it's like translation from Ukrainian to US to UK or something. So I think the list price is like £52.99 or something, or £52.95 something. I generally try to go 10% like under RRP. It depends on what the import price is, what I end up paying. Where sometimes it's a little bit less, sometimes it's a bit more. But generally, because you have to do that to compete with the internet anyway. It's the same price in the shop as on the internet. So I have one. I'm expecting the importer for ICM has actually just changed. It's actually now going to be the Hobby Company. I already have an account with the Hobby Company, so that's fine. They don't have any in stock at the moment. I expect they'll be getting some more in because I think it's proved quite popular. But that, I mean, that is, you know, £48. It's comparable to the Sea King, right? Airfix's Sea King, and it is, you know, a comparably sized aircraft, you know. So that is that one. General question: has anyone seen a helicopter model for the South African Air Force? I'm not going to attempt to say that. Rooivalk? I don't know what that is. Is that just a scheme for a Blackhawk, a UH-60, or is that something else? I'm going to have to... I've got two screens now, so I can actually do this without upsetting everything. Rooivalk helicopter. Oh, no, that is definitely not a... Oh, okay, is that an indigenous... Afrikaans for red falcon. Rooivalk, I guess, which refers to the lesser kestrel. You see, you've started here at Rooivalk, which sounds kind of aggressive, and then red falcon is a little bit less, and then lesser kestrel kind of is like, kind of you bigged it up a bit too much there. That looks quite a cool helicopter, actually. Let me just share this with people so that people can see. Oh my god, I've got lots and lots of screens here. So this is the Denel Rooivalk. It's kind of a strange beast, isn't it? It's kind of, it's definitely got Apache elements in there, but it's kind of got a big ass. It almost looks like what would happen if an Apache and a hind loved each other very, very much. It's got kind of Eurocopter vibes about it as well. Oh my god, it can carry sidewinders. What's that, the Indonesian Air Force? Interesting. I have never heard of that before. But I would say the way that I always try things, go to ScaleMates, Denel Rooivalk. So it looks like there are several 1/72nd scale kits that were made in the 90s. And then you're pretty much out of luck, because this, I think, that's a 3D model from the looks of it. So I think your answer is, if you want a 72nd scale one, it's a resin kit by Scaleworks in, I don't see what the difference is between those two. They're all CSH2s, but there you go. Hopefully that helps. Mario Saliba says, question, Alex, when are you going to do a review of Monty's Office Caravan by ICM? It is on its way. So when it arrives, I will be doing that. I actually watched the ICM build video of it, where it shows all the stuff. Looks really interesting, because you get decals of all of the pictures that he had in his office. And you get his, like, the full kit and caboodle, his sofa and, you know, his little bathroom. So looks quite good. So yeah, that looks interesting kit. So yeah, I'll definitely be reviewing that when it comes through. Couple of questions on YouTubing. So Jack the Modeler says, question, what would you recommend to get bigger on YouTube? Well, if I knew that, I would be Mr. Beast and not Mr. Man or Dr. Man. The easiest way to become bigger on YouTube, I think, is to do something very popular. Is the sad answer. Modeling is not one of those things, which I suspect is not the question you're asking. If you want to become a larger YouTube modeling channel, I think, and I've said this a few times before, you have to do all the usual things that YouTube modelers, that modeling YouTubers have to do. So you need decent lighting for your setup. You need to standardize what you do so you become recognizable. So, I have a white background all the time. And I do my review videos in the same way, and I developed that. Look back at my really early stuff, and it wasn't. So you've got to kind of get an identity, a brand, if you like. And then you've just basically got to. There's a few ways you can do it. You can think, well, how do I do something that's different? So Boxman Models did that. He became very big by being different in the space, and that's one way of doing it. Otherwise it's just diligence and just creating content that you'd want to watch. I think that's the way that I would put it. And the other kind of related question to that is, how is that possible? One video does say 10,000 and another will do 100 views. Most videos get very few views. So I think there are some quite shocking stats. So a video that gets like 1,000 views, or a channel that has the number of subscribers I have, 26K, we're like the top 5% of YouTube. And I'm a small channel, right? Which shows you that most channels on YouTube have nothing. I have like 5 subscribers, or less than 100. It's pretty shocking, the amount of stuff out there that just nobody has. So in terms of how is it possible that one video does a few thousand views and another one does hardly any, it depends on your demographic. It depends on what the video is on, what it hits. So for instance, if I did a video on the Trump security scandal at the moment, and it just happened to get picked up by the, it was one of the ones I got early on it, and it could do 250,000 views in a day, because it's a hot topic. And sometimes something can blow up like that, right? And it could be, for me, the video that blew up in modeling terms, so it got a few thousand views, when I was getting nothing, was the 10 modeling mistakes video, right? That was what put my channel above me just putting out content, which, to start with, that's what I was doing. I was just putting out content, and I've said this before, for the reasons that I wanted to have an impetus for finishing my own projects. So it wasn't done to become big. So it is slightly random, unfortunately. And one of the main things is that YouTube will promote content. So remember, I mentioned about the number of impressions, the number of people it's being shown to. if YouTube shows a video in those, suggested videos that you get when you open up a YouTube, your homepage, if it shows that to 10 million people, even if your click-through is only 1%, you're going to get a shit ton of views. If you've got a click-through rate of 80%, which means everybody who sees it clicks it and thinks this is amazing, but YouTube shows it to 100 people, it'll get 80 views, and YouTube won't promote it to anybody because it's only got 80 views. So therefore, the algorithm thinks nobody likes this, so I won't bother showing it. So that's why the beginning of a video, like when you first put a video, is actually quite important. But that can happen at any time during a video's history, right? So you can usually, you get a graph which goes up and then it plateaus. Yeah, so it will go up in the initial bit and then it will plateau off, and then your line gradually increases like tiny bits over time. Sometimes it will go up and it will plateau and then suddenly it will go up because something's happened. Say if I did a diorama on a strike on the Suez Canal, yeah, a mythical what if thing, and in a year's time that actually happened in some way, and because I've got the keywords in the video and stuff and it's got some views behind it, that might be picked up by the algorithm and then suddenly it might go viral because of that. So there are certain things you can do to make your video more appealing, but the algorithm itself is, everybody complains about the algorithm because of it's kind of unknown and random, right? As creators, the only thing really you have control of is the quality of your content and the content of it. What are you going to do and how are you going to do it? That's what you can control, and that's really what you should focus on. Your own motivations for doing things. Do what you love. I always say do what you love, whether it's actually what models you make, or for this sort of stuff. I might review something that I wouldn't build. I probably wouldn't build a whole series of things, eggplanes, that I hated, because I'd hate it. So that would come through in the videos. So, people would probably watch them to see my pain, but comment, percentage of likes are an odd one. Say a channel has 10,000 subs, a video has 1,000 views, but only 10 likes. Another may have 100 subs and one video gets 100 likes. Yeah, so likes and dislikes don't affect a video's popularity, as my understanding. So hence the Jaguar rebranding advert got ratioed to oblivion. Snow White, the trailer, got ratioed to oblivion, but millions of people have seen them. So it's got nothing to do with how liked a video is. Comments, on the other hand, if you put a comment on a video, that is engagement. So YouTube has this engagement metric. So if people are actually engaging with content and commenting on a video, that shows more interest. So, if you like or dislike a video, and this is why I don't mind feeding trolls, right? So sometimes you'll see I will engage trolls in the comment section. Somebody says something pissy, I will say something pissy back at them because I'm not a free lunch, right? And then they'll come back at me because they're a troll and they can't help it. That feeds the algorithm. That is great. A hungry troll is one of the best things you can have for a video. So I usually go 4 or 5 things until I actually thank them for feeding the algorithm, and then they'll storm off in a mad huff because these people are fundamentally unhappy. But yeah, it's a very odd thing. There we go. Rubbish modeler. I joined MMM because of Alex's 10 modeling mistakes. There we go. Fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know whether it's showing off or so Plasma. for instance. He's a great modeler. And what he does is he shows his work, right? If you go back, he did used to do videos on like how to make your own etched, like photo etch bending tool and stuff like that. But he doesn't do that anymore. He just shows his builds. And you could say that's showing off. And in one sense it is, but we watch them, and he's a very successful channel because they're beautiful builds. It's like, why do people buy cookbooks for people? It's generally not because they cook out of them. If you think about the number of cookbooks people have, the number of recipes that they cook out of them, and I'm not talking about like people who are really into it and will cook every recipe. I'm talking about the great majority of cookbooks. The great majority of cookbooks in the world either remain unopened or they'll have one or two things made out of them, and that'll be it. Yeah. And then at some point they'll be given away to somebody or given to a charity shop or something. So that's food porn, right? Because you look at it and think, oh, that looks lovely, you know, but don't make it because it's got 200 ingredients and it takes 7 hours. And for me, people like Night Shift, people like Plasmo are modeling porn, right? It's like going to a competition. You know, you look at the competition models, but also that can be inspiring, right? So, you know, I don't diss other modelers or the modeling channels for what they do. It's not what I choose to do. You know, if I look back, I was actually repairing some old models that I did about 20 years ago, actually more than 20 years ago today. And there was a TA183, there was a Messerschmitt, a couple of Messerschmitt MO109s, the remains of a P1099 that Revell is actually releasing this year, the heavy fighter variant of the 262 that was planned. They're all better models than I've made in the last 3 or 4 years. But I haven't chosen to do that. I don't flex my, you know, modeling muscles, as it were, on the channel, because it's not what I really started the channel for or really want out of it. You know, I would rather do unboxing and build videos that actually help people, you know, do the unusual stuff, do some of the helpful things, you know, that I've done, keep doing bits like that, do the model paint mixing series, you know, get people to look at things a different way, you know, that kind of stuff. So it's really what you want to do. You know, like I said, just do what you want to. Question, Alex, I've recently purchased ICM's Bristol Beaufort. Which paints would work better with this kit? Any advice would be helpful. Well, there are about 7 different versions of that kit, so you'll have to narrow it down slightly to what version do you want to build. I mean, the ICM paints are fantastic. Their recommendations for which ones you should use in which place are a little bit suspect. I would say go to my RAF paint mixing video. There we go. Bit of a plug for myself there. The second one, because I kind of redid them. I was very happy with the first one. And then mix up the colors that you want from that. Okay. Julian says, if I recall, my intro to this channel was watching Gary Stuff, Model Minutes, Moss 6510, saw Alex on airfix and chill and started watching his channel. Yeah. Which is, you know, what a lot of us have other modelers on, you know, our streams and stuff for, is to promote their channels as well. It's a shared hobby, you know. This streaming, the internet, you know, YouTube has made our hobby a lot more social than perhaps it's been in the past, beyond, you know, your small like group of modeling club members. Oh, mine was the 1/24 scale FX Spitfire. Very nice kit. So Dwarvius just kind of emphasized that prior point. I uploaded a video clip that made me laugh and it didn't get any attention at all. First, Months later, I woke up and found it had 2K views and it kept growing. Not sure how that happened. Yeah, it's like alchemy, you know. Oh, Nunu, welcome. Good to see you. Haven't seen you for a while, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Yes, absolutely. So Rubbish Modeler, the YouTube like is really more for you as a viewer than it is for the video you're watching. So all those trolls that go around and dislike people, you know, say you got some asshole from a certain Facebook critique group that I may have mentioned before, who's just like, I'm going to go and I'm going to dislike every one of Alex's videos and his friends like Moss and John, and I can dislike all their videos. It's not doing what he thinks it's doing, right? Or she, could be she, but it'll be a he. It is all that's doing is telling YouTube that he doesn't like watching modeling channels, so it's going to suggest less modeling channels to him. So it's completely counterintuitive. He's shooting himself in the foot. Serves him right for being an idiot, right? So don't do that. Okay. Now, I'm aware we are just past the hour, and the main thing I want to do tonight is finish Modelmas, because it's 3 months past Christmas. And it has been a long old haul. Modelmas is a strange and mysterious season that can last very, very few or very many days, it seems. So I do want to get onto that and make sure that we get these giveaways done. So the main thing I'm going to do is I have earlier today created an Excel sheet, of course. Why wouldn't I? Let me just open that. Put it on the other screen so I'm not blocking myself and don't know what I'm doing. Modelmas Draw, it is unsurprisingly called. So I have a set of people for each of the days. I have a couple more for the last 2 days of Modelmas, and then of course I have the 3D printer. So I'm not going to do the 3D printer tonight. The reason being, one, I don't know where it is. It's in a box somewhere still. The other is that I want to kind of consolidate all of the input from the other days and then put all of those into the final 3D printer drawer. So try and get that sorted for next week. I can't guarantee that I can find it because I literally have no clue where it is. It's with 2 other printers, 2 of my printers, and then there's the Mars. So what I thought is, if you guys would also, on each of these items, be interested because you've turned up tonight, I will add you to the draw for each of the items. So let's start off at the beginning. So let me grab the stuff here. So it is still cold enough in the UK that it could be Christmas. So here are the stack of goodies that we have. I should have got Marcus to come on the stream. He kind of looks like Father Christmas. Man's Model Moments, March Madness, Midweek Model Meet. Indeed, obvious. That is good. So the first item from the first day of Modelmas, which was originally whenever it was back in December, it's got slightly crushed on one end. It is this and a Man's Model Moments adjustable stand, painting modeling stand. This is the P-40B, the Curtis Tomahawk 2B starter set. Partridge in a pear tree, you see. So if you are interested in entering the draw for this evening, if you want to put P40, I know it says Curtis Tomahawk, but it's a P40, right? Put P40 in now, and I will add you to the list before doing the draw. So we'll give that a moment. Basically just to see if this works, right? So if you put P40 in capital letters, there's only one letter there, but Black Skunk Works. Thank you for at least I shall add you to the list. Black Skunk Works. There we go. Oh God, everyone's going to do it now, isn't it? Hands. John Christmas, you're already on, so you're adding to your chances. Okay, I may have to limit this because I'm not going to be able to type fast enough. I think what do we got? We got over 100 people on. If 100 people do it, I'm going to be buggered. So maybe I will do like the first 10 to put it in, right? To add a little bit of excitement and drama to it, right? 1, 2, we've got Howard. Because otherwise it's going to just slow everything down and be impossible to work, right? We'll have a set number of slots, okay? In fact, that's probably a better way of doing it. So David Markey, got Dorvius, Pete McDubbs, Martin Ward, so I've put that up on the screen so you can see what to put. John Christmas, you can only say it once. Nice try, though. Darcy Actual, who was one of those that first did it. Okay, I'm going to say there are 15 slots for each of these. Okay, the number of people that can actually say the kit on the stream will depend on the number of people that originally liked and shared on social media, and whether they were members or not. Because if you're a member, you get double the votes, if you could call. And then I will basically use a random number generator to determine the outcome. So now I don't know can I do that on screen? I think I can. Bear with me. Need to make that a bit smaller. Okay, roller. Okay, so let me share this. Let me get rid of that one. And represent any dice. So this is any dice is a fantastic thing. If you're into probabilities, you can do all kinds of things with this. I've used it a lot in game design in the past. So what we'll do, just to demonstrate it, I'll do a pre-roll. So this won't count for anything. So, okay, that is not the right one. Okay, output 1D15 is actually what I wanted. Output 1. I want to roll 1 dice. Oh no, that is not right at all. What is it doing? How can that possibly be 76? That's what? Okay. Here we go. This is, I don't know what it was doing before. So that should now give us a roll. There we go. 4, for instance. So that is how it works. So this basically will roll a dice of the sort that you have determined. So I'm rolling a D15 for those 15 slots. So for the P40, for this, plus a Man's Model Moments painting stand. 11. 11 is David Markey. Congratulations. Let me mark that on my sheet. So it is possible to win multiple things tonight. This is a giveaway after all. So we'll wait until the end because people might win multiple things, and then, I can package them all up. In fact, if one person wins everything, it will save on postage. I think that's taking away from the spirit of it a little bit. Okay, next one is a B. Oh, where's the Boeing? I can't find my Boeing 747. Where's it gone? I may have dropped it. Bear with me. I had dropped it. Okay. That's the. What do we want? Let's move that for the time being. So this is the Boeing 747-200. The rather odd scale of 1/390th in Air Canada scheme. So so we do have some slots spare for this. So for this one, I think it's going to be the first, like to fill those slots. Let's see. I think you need to type 747-200. Ew, Rev. So 747-200. So not 747, has to be 747-200. So Alex Smith was the first one in there. Darcy, who was one of the people that originally put in for this. Adrian. Hans. Now, for those of you who are channel members, I'm entering your name twice. As per the original rules, if you're a channel member, you get double the entries. I should also say, actually, that super chats, anybody's willing to spend money on this, are allowed. I will give you an entry. Oh God, how are we going to do this? Give an extra entry for every 50p on your super chat. There we go. Somebody really wants something. Brian And Howard gets the last two. Okay. We are full of the full 15 slots. Commiserations for those of you who didn't quite get in there. More fun than Monday bingo. Right. Let's go on to the big roll. I should have a drum roll. I need a soundboard, don't I? That's what professional YouTubers have. I do have a Stream Deck. I just haven't got it set up here and associated with any sounds. I will do that at some point. Get a soundboard. Here we go. Drum roll. Roll. Why isn't this working? Oh, because I'm clicking on this screen and not on the actual screen. User error. Okay. There we go. Now I'm actually on the screen. That's why it didn't work. Okay, ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 14. That's Howard. He got there, got in there at the end. Oh, rubbish modeler. That is a sly tactic. I like it. So Howard with that. Okay. There's that one. It's nice to give things away, you know. So, right. Next up. It's French. It's the Renault RS Turbo. Sorry, Renault RS. Is it RS or R5? No, it's an R5. It's the Renault. It's a Renault 5, but flashier. So this is a hella kit, unfortunately, but they do French stuff. So it was appropriate for the third day of Christmas. So we do have a few of these slots already fixed. So let me make sure I got this correct. Okay. My girlfriend rings and cuts the stream off. So thank you very much for joining Rubbish Modeler. So as I mentioned before, you know, if you're a channel member, you get double the votes. The whole point of this, there are 2 points for this, right? One, it felt like a nice thing to give back to people at Christmas. The second one was that I was pushing for 25k subs, so it was a way of sharing the channel. So if you went onto the post and shared it on social media, you're entered into the draw. And then, of course, everybody who enters, including those who entered tonight, will be in that final draw for a 3D printer. So it's a Mars 3D printer that I'm going to be giving away. It's unused. It is unboxed. I will find a suitable thing to box it in. It's one that I actually planned on using myself, but the technology moved on so quickly that actually then went to a 4K and then got a big bed for the shop and everything. So it's just, rather than me commissioning it and, you know, using it once or twice, I thought give it to somebody else who might actually enjoy it and use it. So that is the 12th day of Christmas is the 3D printer. John Alec, thank you very much for your generosity. He has gifted 5 Bands Model Moments memberships. They are randomly distributed, I believe. I think that's how YouTube uses it. So there's a lot of people putting R5 and snail and things in French before I've actually said what to type. So it doesn't work that way, guys. I'll tell you what to type in a second. So didn't know anyone was still on dial-up internet. Well, I mean, we've got a 300 gig connection, or whatever it is. I can't remember what it is. It's fiber optic and it's fast. We still get sometimes some weird issues like I had tonight. You know, I don't know what it is. It must be something happening elsewhere, or on whatever site we're on. Because if I check, because I always check the speed when something like that happens, and it's always still high. So it's something else somewhere else. I don't know. Anyway. So for the Renault R5 Turbo, I think what to type in there. Oh, Simon's modeling shed in there straight away with 2 entrants there. Renault. Okay, Renault is your entry here. I can put Simon's in there because he's blocked off a couple of. Not Reno, Martin. Plastic Alchemist. Alex Smith. Yeah, small car. Janex. Martin, you get 2. And John, you also get 2. And you also filled it before. John has a high chance of winning this, I can tell you. And that closes it, I'm afraid. John Christmas there managed to get the last 2 slots. Okay. Ooh, hotting up. Right. So this could be quite an interesting one, this. Okay. Let's get the roller up. What I would really like is if it did a big animated dice. Although I'm not sure how it would do a big animated 15-sided dice, but hey, that's for the developers to sort out, right? So here we go for the Renault 5. In 3, in 2, in 1. It's 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, John, you just missed out. That was Martin. Martin Mountford. You are the winner of the Renault R5 Turbo. Little beast. As you can see, all of these have come from the shop. With stealing stock. Now, the next one is a bit of a conundrum for me. The Cessna O2A, because I don't actually have it with me. And I'm not exactly sure where it is. So we'll have to do the draw for it, and then I'll have to either find it or get another one in. So you may have a small delay on this one because I'm not 100% sure exactly where it is. So apologies in advance for day 4, the Cessna O2A. So I can't show you a picture of it, but imagine a Cessna here, right? Wow, look at that. Oh, we have a few new members. Oh my God, Dave as well. Dave has also gifted 5 Man's Model memberships. Thank you very much, sir. So Dave is a stalwart member of and supporter of many channels. So thank you, Dave, very much for that. And John Alec, of course, if you don't know John Alec and haven't seen his channel, also Nunu, Plastic Alchemist, go and check their channels out too. This is a could you green screen a Cessna? That's if I'd had more experience of working with a green screen, maybe. Maybe I could green screen being in a Cessna. Let's see. See if I can do that very quickly. Okay, bear with me. I might just be able to do this. So if I have a look at my settings, let's see if I can add in. Okay. So here we are on final approach. Unfortunately, your pilot is looking in the wrong direction. How I've managed to get my hand there, I'm not sure. So this would be the view from the Cessna model that you would potentially be winning. So thank you, Dwarvius, for this. I think we're going to go really simple on this one, and what I'm going to get you to type is going to be. Oh, and actually, there aren't as many slots for this one. This one was quite a shared one, so you're going to have to be quick. It's going to be O2A. O2A. Oh gosh, we've got a flood just came in there. I think we're already filled. That was a quick one. That was a quick one. Okay. Gosh, we had a flood of those. So it does actually make a difference if you're a channel member as well, because that takes up 2 slots, so they fill up a lot more quickly. You see, if I was a rank profiteer, I would open up the slots and say, you know, become a member and then you can get more slots. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take this away because it's distracting me. There we go. I know the green background is a bit weird, but I couldn't deal with coming into land. So let's get the roller back up. And I'm going to roll in 3, in 2, in 1. It's number 9. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It is Rubbish Scale Modeler. Have I actually got your... Is it just Rubbish Modeler? It's just Rubbish Modeler. I just put you down in these sheet as rubbish. Rubbish Modeler. Okay. Got you down there. Okay. Next up, we have the Bugatti. So this is the Veyron. Oh, where has it gone? No, I've also put that somewhere else as well. Oh, no, I've already got Mary Rose. Where's the Veyron gone? I checked all of these before as well. Must have put it somewhere safe, as I say. Okay. I'm not going to delay things because I can't find it. But here is a similar car that looks... Imagine this was red and that said Bugatti Veyron. And that's actually what you'll be bidding on, not this. Okay? Unless you prefer this. Although typing Huayra might be difficult. So Bugatti Veyron, not this. Why have I got that there? What is that there for? Oh, okay. I think I put the wrong model. User error, as usual. It will be in the shop, yes. I imagine it is. Although I collected them all together and brought them home from the shop, so I don't know. Okay. So for the Bugatti, now, am I kind to you or am I mean to you? That is the question, isn't it? What should I get you to type? I tell you what. Pablo's eaten it. Well, it's not edible, otherwise he'd have eaten it. I'm not going to go with anything quite as obvious as Bugatti Kraut. I'm going to say, if you type supercar, okay, supercar. Nobody wants it. Okay. Smith, Brian, Gremlins Modeling Mayhem. It's a membership. You get 2. Jim Brook, also a member, so you get 2. Paul Christopher. Oh. And David Markey rounds us out. All righty. Oh, he just picked you, Rubbish Modeler. Wow, wow, there are a lot of super car. Soup my car. Jerry Anderson. Reference acknowledged. All right. Okay. Interesting spread there we've got. Let's pop up the roller. Need to find a better way of doing this next time. I did it with bits of paper in a bowl in previous giveaways. That's super hard to do, right? Especially if you're going to like engage a live audience and want like input, because you've got to write everything down on bits of paper. That doesn't work. But it would be nice to have something a bit more graphical, you know. I could do it in Roll20, which is a D&D app, which actually uses a graphical dice, but it only works for real dice, not things that you can roll non-real dice, but you can't see them. But okay, so we're going to roll this in 3, 2, 1, 7. That is Alex Smith. You beat the odds there. There were a lot of channel members, but you managed to get in there. See the randomness. This is demonstrating the YouTube algorithm things. Oh, Alex Smith, you have just given a super chat as well. Thank you very much. Well, I think that's karma, isn't it? That is definitely karma. So you will have a Bugatti Veyron on its way to you. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. It's nice. This has been weighing on the back of my mind for 3 months. Which is the last thing you want, especially when, with all the pressures of the house and the actual things that weigh on your mind. Having something that's kind of like there sort of scratching away. It's just like, you need to do this, you need to do this. And it's just like, yeah. But, you know, real life gets in the way, unfortunately. But I'm glad to be able to close it out and give these away. So next up is this is another starter kit, but it is a Hella starter kit. So Hella actually do these little starter kits with, this one has the LCVP, and it also has the soldiers in there as well. And then it has the paints, the glue, and the glue, which funny enough is Humbrol cement and brush. The paint in these actually, I think, is not bad. They do little tubs, little screw top tubs. So I think actually probably they're one of the better starter kits for the paint. Now, the quality of the kits isn't as good as airfix, obviously, because they're older tools. But still, you know, this is the goose laying from the 12 Days of Modelmas. But obviously produced as part of the D-Day thing for last year. So for this one, again, we do have some, well, we've got spots open on all of them. So I think it is 1/72nd scale. Yep. I do have a 1/35th scale Italieri one in the shop, actually, in the second-hand section. I have no idea. I think it's about £30, something like that. And that comes with, I think, 5 or 6 35th scale figures. Oh, Alex, that is very generous. I shall make sure that that gets to Models for Heroes. Absolutely. Howard, absolutely. It's not on the website, so just drop me an email through the shop email address, which is the same as the channel email address, which I will also ask all of you that won tonight to drop me an email on the same to work out, you know, shipping addresses and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, anything in the shop that, because the secondhand stuff gets lowest priority for putting on the web, unfortunately, and I have a whole shit ton of stuff to put on the website. Honestly, it's just so much. Now I've got the evergreen plastics and the Javison. I've got like a backlog of literally like well over 100 items that I've got to put on the website. Not fun, but and then all the secondhand stuff. And there's probably like 50 odd kits to go on there. But anyhow, enough of me complaining. We are now going to do the landing craft, and I think for this one we're going to go nice and easy and just have LCVP. So if you want LCVP, if you fancy chance of grabbing that Hella starting kit. Oh, Darcy, you're increasing your chances, as of course you did share originally. Oh, I can't keep up with these. Maybe I should have more spots. I'm glad the chat is like, you know, a text chat so that it has a record and I can do all of this at my leisure. Suffice to say, we have hit the slots. I'm just catching up. And Julian. And Julian, you were the last in the slots there. Just cut off there. Sorry, Andy and David. John Christmas, you didn't get in either, but you already have skin in this game. Okay. Now, Julian got in slot 15, but he's a channel member, so I'm going to roll a 16-sided dice this time. Means I need to edit my thing. There we go. So let's get the roller up here. And we're going to roll this in 3, in 2, in 1. 7. That is Darcy Actual. Congratulations, Darcy. It's nice to have a few people who have shared this originally, as was the intent, winning these as well. So, Darcy, you are down as a winner on that one. Now next we have one of my actual favorite starter kits, and that is the Mary Rose starter kit. I think this is a really neat little kit. I had a lot of fun making this. So obviously it's the airfix starter kit. It builds into a nice little model. It's only kind of about yay big, I think, maybe 4.5 inches, 5 inches, maybe. But it's a neat little thing. The decals on it for the sides here are really good. You can see actually how it looks afterwards. So I've sold quite a few of these at the shop, and some of them to younger modelers as well. In fact, I gave one to Celine, to John Alex's daughter, when she came across Telford. She'd never done a model kit, and it seemed appropriate. It's just a neat little thing. But so for this one, it did sink, yes. Not as many believe on its maiden voyage. It had a long and storied career before it actually sank, and they think it sank because it was overloaded and did some very big maneuvers that it couldn't quite do. And it is now on display. So it sank. It was preserved in basically anaerobic mud for several hundred years. It was brought up in the 80s. It was in a great big room being sprayed with water for decades until they managed to actually get it into a state of preservation. And it's now displayed in Portsmouth in a dedicated building. And they got a whole bunch of really interesting artifacts. If you're ever in the area, get the opportunity to go to the Mary Rose, I would recommend it. It's a really good day. And obviously, if you've got kids, there's tons of stuff for kids to do. We took our kids years ago. So one of the main items that they recovered from this were watches. And you may think, well, this is an Elizabethan ship. You know, how can that be? Well, not. It's earlier than Elizabethan. Sorry, it's Tudor. Well, each of the sailors had their own little pocket sundial. So it's just like basically watches. So only about a couple of inches on a side, just a little thing you would flip out and orient, and then you could tell the time. I thought that was really interesting that it was so ubiquitous. They got loads and loads of them. The doctor on board, they had his silk cap. They had like physicians then had a silk cap that they put on, and then they also had a leather one that was actually kind of for working. It's one of the way you distinguish them, but it's a really interesting place. I'd recommend going. So anyway, Mary Rose. So I think for that, anybody who wants that, I think we're going to have the obvious one, which is Henry, because it was Henry VIII's part of Henry VIII's fleet. So if you'd like the Mary Rose, type Henry in the chat. Darcy, once again, put you there. Phil. Alex Smith. Hans. I put Hans Mary's. No, that's not right. Miguel. And it's modeling shed. And Howard. And Gremlins Modeling Mayhem. And that gives us the slots, which, because of the way it worked, is another 16. So let me get the roller up. And we'll roll in 3, in 2, in 1. It's 3. Oh, so that is John Christmas. So, John, you are now the going to be the proud recipient of a Mary Rose starter kit from airfix. Okay, we're getting to the coming to the end of things. So for the, what is it, the 2, 4, 6, 7, 8th day of Christmas, it was made to milking, and of course the milk of any army is fuel. So we had the German jerry cans in 1/35 scale. We hadn't had any 1/35 scale stuff, and more for the armor and diorama people. German jerry cans World War II. These are mini art set. Mini art do all kinds of stuff in these sets. You know, the croissant, the cheeses. They do a cafe set. They do all kinds of stuff. Really nice bits. They do really nicely molded. I will say, just as a warning to those of you who don't like it, it does contain the devil's metal as part of it. So if you're not a fan of photo etch, this is probably not a set that you want. However, if you do, I think what we're going to do is have you have the word petrol. So type petrol into the chat. Brian, no problem. Wow, a whole load of petrol there. See, David Markey. Not mark it, it's auto-correcting, and it's just stop it, please. Andy Freeman. Oh, no, I'm overwriting. And this doesn't even have any alcohol in it. So, Howard Kendrick. Simons. Bernie Haggard. Is that Hag or yes, it is Haggard. And that completes our 15 slots. Darcy would just pipped at the post there. commiserations to those of you who didn't manage to get in there. Where is my roller? There we go. Add that to stage. Oh, sorry, just messed that up. There we go. There we go. So I changed it to the 15. And let's roll in 3, 2, 1, 11. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Howard Kendrick. Oh, that's the second one you've won. That goes with the 747, Howard. I wouldn't rubbish because I don't know what's there. I wouldn't do it from the shop. Okay, we have a few more to get through, and I'm aware the time is ticking on, so I'm going to ramp up a little bit. And this is now the Edward Weekend Edition Albatross D3. This is quite a nice little kit. 48 scale. I should mention it's a 48 scale kit, not a 32nd, so it's not a 72nd, so it's not incredibly tiny. It is actually a reasonably sized kit. So if you fancy doing a biplane, Edward kit, it's a nice kit. So this one will test you, right? Because you have to get the right spelling. Okay. I'll keep it up on the screen so you can see it. It's going to be Albatross. No double S's in there. So make sure your typing fingers are accurate. And get some albatrosses in. Okay. Keep it up. I think I've got all that I could, but I'll keep it up there a second longer. So James, Kevin, Pete, B2 Raven, Sarah. Oh, nice to see you, Sarah. Didn't see you pop in before. And we have rubbish as well. Right. So Albatross, I'm going to go straight in. This is another 16. So let's change that. I change it to 16, and I'm going to roll it once in here just to make sure it goes. Yep, that's correct. Just because I don't trust myself. And I'm going to roll in 3, 2, 1, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is James Canahan. So James, congratulations there. Just make sure I get your name spelt correctly here. Canahan. Right. Okay. So 2 more to go. The next one is a biggie. It's a slightly unusual one. So this is an ICM kit. And it is this one. So this is 1/35 scale. This is the military container. So as you can see, a pretty big but fairly odd thing. So this is the Universal Military Pod, the one that also comes with one of the Tahis. So quite a sizable kit. It has a lot of seats in it. I would probably have Maybe this is why I'm giving it away, because I've got trauma from making seats for my ICM kits. So it also includes the, so I should mention that as well, because that might be interesting to some people if you think, I've got no interest in that. It also has the landing mat, the 1/35th scale landing mat, the M8A1 US version of the landing mat that you can put out. So if you want, you could put an aircraft on it as a diorama, whatever. And it'd be interesting to see, what somebody does with that. So let's just go with something really easy. And I don't have any slots for this, okay, because this wasn't one that was put up at Christmas. So let's just go with pod. P-O-D, pod. You fancy a 1/35th scale pod? I guess it is. Okay. And the rubbish. Miguel. Oops. Simon's. Darcy. Routes. David Markey. Dave. B2 Raven. And John Christmas. And that closes us out. All right. So for this one, again, we have a 16, so no need to edit the roller and test it. Oh, sorry, I just minimized when I should have switched screens. Okay, so rolling in 3, 2, 1, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's Simon's modeling shed. So let's put you down there. Okay, so the last one, 11 Pipers Piping. I thought it couldn't be anything else than a Piper, could it? An LH4 Piper. Now, I've left that. I definitely have left that because I meant to bring it home and Pablo was being a pain. I completely forgot it. Is at the shop. Now, for this one, I'm not going to put a cap on the entries, right? So as many people can enter this as they wish. There is a slight caveat to this one, but I'll only tell you what it is after you voted. Okay, so it'll be interesting. So I think the easy one, just put Piper in the chat. As many people as like can enter this one, and remember, all the entrants into tonight's Modelmas series, all of those people that put it originally, will all go into the final draw for the 3D printer. I think I will open it as an opportunity for people to vote as well at the time, but I'll probably do it through super chats because you guys have supported the channel. You've spread the word before Christmas. You've been on this stream. A lot of you are members, so I think it would be a bit churlish to say that anybody can do it right at the 11th hour and just somebody who doesn't really give a damn just comes in and wins it at the end. So I think it'll be pay to play if you want to come in and get votes actually on the stream, which I think is a fairer way of doing it for you guys. And it also may generate or may not, depending on if nobody cares, something for the channel. So lots and lots of pipers. This may take me a short, bear with me because I was talking during all of that. So we've got rubbish. We have Darcy. We have James. We have Jim Rook. We've got Dwarvius. I've got David Markey. You get 2 because you're a channel member. That'd be 2 Raven. Oh, it is a 1/48 scale, I should say, because it's not a very big aircraft, the Piper. Howard. Oh, what have I just done there? Oh, strange. I've lost my place now. Howard, got James Fisher. A little things junkie. I've got Simons. Gosh, I've got lots of typing. Kevin, got Martin. Oh, I've got another Martin. I'm going to have to distinguish you. Martin W. There we go. That's a good way to do it. We've got Hans. The Kraut. Oh, there's a lot here. Got Jim. Yeah, you've already put yours in, Jim. No second bites. Come on, guys. We got Andy Bowman. Okay, you know when I said there wasn't a limit, maybe how long can you guys wait? Because I do have to type these in for it to work. Oops. I've got Paul. Got Dave Freeman. Okay. Freeman, Adrian Hook. I think it was a good idea to limit it before, because if I had to do this for everyone, it'd be midnight before we got up. Bernie Hagyard, BS1WL, Miguel, Chris Flowers, just a double one. Wow. Mark. Okay. Oh, enjoy Christmas. Wow. Okay. Alex Smith going with a big one there. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. So that's 10 entrances from Alex Smith. Good God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Okay, I think that is it. I'm calling it. That's stopping. It's okay, Jim. I got you. Okay, 61 entries. 61. Wow, that's a lot of people. So it definitely means we need to change the roller. So 61. I'm going to do the first roll just to test that it is actually taken this, and then I'll actually count it down. Okay, so this first roll doesn't count for anything. Okay, I'm not sure that did anything, so I'm going to do it again. Yeah, that's not, for some reason, doing anything. Sometimes it gets kind of stuck. And you see, it still thinks there's 15 there. Now it thinks it's okay. I think it's if it hasn't gone through the calculate. So let me just test it. Okay, that we've got a result that's more than the first one. I'm just like, what, hasn't done anything? Okay, so that is working. So I'm glad I just didn't do it on the first one because that would have been disastrous. So, okay, we're going to do the actual roll in 3, 2, 1. 54. I think that's you, Alex. It is, yeah. Alex Smith doing the last minute 10 entries. Got it in there. Is that right? 54. Yeah, it is. So 61, 53, yeah. That was a lot of typing. I appreciate that it was. Now, the caveat. Do you want the caveat? You want to know what you've won, Alex? So the caveat is, it is a Mr. Craft kit. Now, I have checked it, and it is actually, it's okay. It's not the Mr. Craft that some Mr. Craft kits are, because they have a reputation of being bloody awful. But actually, it's okay. It's a decent enough kit. So, congratulations, Alex. So, the next step for all of you, anybody who won tonight, so there's David Markey, Howard, Martin Mountford, Rubbish Modeler, Alex Smith, Darcy Actual, John Christmas, Howard Kendrick, James Carnahan, Simon's Modeling Shed. Alex, of course, you also got the Bugatti. Send me an email to the channel address or the shop address. I generally don't say it online just because of the possibility of spam stuff. And yes, it does happen. So if you go to Man's Model Moments, look at the contact details. There's a little chat bot thing. You can ask what are the contact details. It will give you those as well. Or go to the channel in the About section, and you can click More, and it will give you the email address there for that. Send me an email. Just mention that you're on the stream tonight and have won whatever it was. And then we can organize postage, etc. Can we do it from our Instagram? Well, okay. If you're a channel member, you can just send it through Discord, because, and if you're not on the Discord, there is a pinned comment, pinned post. That's the one. That gives you a link there. I'll refresh that after this because it does expire, periodically. And Instagram, you could try. It's not a guarantee, but yeah, I can. I do check Instagram occasionally, but if I know you're doing something, then yeah, I can check it. So yeah, just so on the Discord, you can actually send me a PM. So that'll just keep your address private. Okay. Dwarvius, glad that we could keep you entertained. With future streams, hopefully I can work out the green screen a bit better. I literally just threw it up and tried it. StreamYard I don't think is 100% best for green screening anyway. But great to see you all. We are over time a little bit, but I'm not particularly counting, but I know people have work and things and aren't so much of a night owl as me. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, if I could ask you a favor, and if you could, that would be fantastic. A lot of people do watch the channel that aren't subscribed. And as I say, if you've watched any of the videos recently, if you could drop a like and potentially a comment on them, as I say, doesn't have to be War and Peace. That would help the channel and the algorithm to find bits in the channel enormously. So other than that, thank you all very much. So Alex, the Discord is for channel members, so you have to be a channel member to have the Discord. So otherwise, just contact me via email through the channel or the shop. It's the same email address for both, because I can't deal with managing 3 email addresses. That would be ridiculous. Anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed that. If you haven't seen the Blackhawk unboxing and build review, go and check that out at some point. Lovely kit, shame about the seats. And I shall see you on the next one. In fact, if you are a channel member, we have a channel member only stream on Sunday. So it's bi-weekly, just so that I can have some sort of home life as well. Although Maria does look forward to that bi-weekly bit, because it means she can play Civ 5 without being pestered. So that's again at 8 o'clock, same time, same slot. And it is on this week. So hope you all enjoyed that. Congratulations to all of those of you who won something. They won. It's kind of like it's a giveaway. I guess it is winning. But yeah, I'll see you on the next one. We'll be on Scale Model Inc. live on Friday, possibly Marcus's stream on Saturday too, if you haven't had enough of me by now. And other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Okay, thanks everybody. Good night.